let's start off with what is perceived as one of the front runners in this conference, and that being the Kansas State Wildcats. 8.5 wins is the line. Currently at BetMGM, it's juiced barely over there, a -115. The under at -105. Again, I'm going to play numbers near it here because Ryan knows all the nitty gritty about every single one of these college teams. So giving you a little statistical background, K-State, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, number 21 overall. ESPN projects K-State for 8.6 wins this season, so just barely above the 8.5 line, giving them a 22.2% chance of making the college football playoff. Strength of schedule, quite attractive, 64th hardest in all of Division I college football. And according to theanalyst.com, number 18 projected offensive rating, number 33 projected defensive rating. And with all that nitty gritty now coursing through your cerebral cortex, Ryan Horvat, our connoisseur and our expert in everything college football, what's your take? K-State over, under 8.5 wins this season.
Yeah, I bet Kansas State over 8.5 wins. I took a stab on them to win the Big 12 at 6-1, and then I bet Avery Johnson, the starting quarterback, at 50-1 to win the Heisman. Last year they were the favorites. Looked good the first 8 weeks. They started 7-1, I believe, and then they lost 3 of their last 4. They did win their bowl game against Rutgers. Hung 40 points. Avery Johnson looked good in that game. He was their second leading rusher, rushed for 7 touchdowns, threw for over 2,600 yards. Now he's got a full offseason where he's the guy. Last year had to replace Will Howard. Their leading wide receiver, Jace Brown's back. Last year he caught 5 touchdowns, finished with over 800 receiving yards. I think Sterling Lockett is going to be a weapon, both on special teams as a return man and as a slot receiver. They bring back their tight end, Garrett Oakley, who caught 5 touchdowns. And they have a 5-star recruit, their highest recruit ever, Lincoln Cure. He's 6'6", 220. I think he's going to be a stud tight end. Their offensive line's usually a strength. On the defense, they bring back their 2 top tacklers, but they do have to replace the next 4. But the defense isn't really an issue for Kansas State, although they were second in the conference last year in rushing yards allowed, but they also play a 3-3-5. I like the offseason, though. They have a new OC coming in, Matt Wells from Utah State. Also was at Texas Tech for a while as well. And I like the schedule, man. They get 2 games against opponents who are coming off byes, Kansas and Oklahoma State, but I'm not really high on either of those teams this year. And they're also returning from byes for those games as well. So give me Kansas State to win at least 9-10 games. And I like Avery Johnson at 50-1 as a Heisman contender as well.
That's a pretty decent price here, -115 on the over 8.5 wins. A lot of these markets are severely juiced one direction or the other, including the next one. And it's not so much Cowboy up, Cowboy down. Oklahoma State, the Fighting Gundies there, 5.5 wins, +145 on the over, -175 on the under. Let me give you the background here, numerically speaking. Number 67, according to Football Power Index there at ESPN, projected to win 5.5 games, so exactly what the line is. A 48.1% chance of winning 6 games this season. Not too shabby there. Strength of schedule, number 39 overall in the country. Number 58, according to the analysts, projected offensive rating, but number 92, yikes, projected defensive rating. Your thoughts on the Cowboys? Are they going to shoot some blanks this season?
I don't know what's going on, man, there, right? Like Mike Gundy, it's been a little bit of a mess. He's been there for 21 years. He's 169-88. So usually you could bank on them to win 8-9 games, but they only bring back 1 starter on the offensive side of the ball and 1 on defense. On offense, they have a quarterback battle. They have redshirt sophomore Zane Flores and a transfer from TCU that are battling for the starting quarterback spot. They have to replace Ollie Gordon, who was a little bit of a bust. He was a Heisman contender coming into the season last year. I do like Rodney Fields and Trent Howland, the running backs that they bring in. They have a bunch of transfers at the wide receiver position, including Shamar Rigby from Purdue. Josh Ford's back. He's a tight end who had 10 catches and a touchdown at tight end. Defense only 1 starter back, so I just don't know what this team's going to look like. I don't like to fade Mike Gundy because when you think it's going to be a down year, usually they win 7-8 games, but with 2 starters back, they lose a bunch of guys to the portal, a new OC. I would lean under on Oklahoma State.
All right, taking the under on the Cowboys this season. Drink up at Eskimo Joe's there in Stillwater. What about Kansas? We already talked about K-State, so going back to Sunflower State. The Jayhawks at 7.5 wins, plus 135. Drive to juice if you like the over. Minus 160 on the under. The background here, ESPN Power Index got them at a number 30, 7.9 wins a forecast. So they kind of like the over a plus money. They have a 13.4% chance to make the college football playoff. That's decent. Number 60 in terms of strength of schedule, so not overly intimidating. Number 4, according to the analyst.com, projected offensive rating. Number 66, though, in defensive rating. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Should they focus on basketball, or is football going to make noise again?
I would love to buy in, man, right? Because Jalen Daniels is back for what appears to be year 10 at Kansas. It's year 6. Last year actually played more than 9 games for the first time since stepping foot on campus, but only completed 57% of his passes. Had 12 touchdown passes, but also threw a career-high 12 picks. This offense hasn't looked the same since Andy Kotelnicki left a couple of years ago to take the job at Penn State last year. Devin Neal's gone. They do bring back Hillshaw Jr., and they bring in a transfer from Iowa, LaShawn Williams, who was 6th in the Big Ten with 823 rushing yards before he got hurt last year. Wide receivers are all new except for, including Emmanuel Henderson, who they get from Bama out of the portal. Only 2 starters back on the O-line, and you said it, the defense last year was 92nd in the country in total defense. Dean Miller was really good. He's back, had a team-high 6 sacks, but I don't trust anybody else on the defensive side of the ball. They did lose some close games last year. 5 of their 7 losses came by 6 points or less. I want to buy in, man, but I lean under on Kansas this year.
All right, taking the under on the Jayhawks. I'll probably take the over just because I like the plus money. Plus 135 is awfully attractive. All right, let's go to Arizona, the Grand Canyon State, and talk about the Wildcats down there in Tucson. 5.5 wins. That's it. That's all line is. Same as OK State. Minus 110 either direction. Background here, number 69. Not so nice. Projected at the Football Power Index on ESPN, forecasted win 4.9 games this year, 37.7% chance, that's it, to win 6, according to ESPN. Number 65 in terms of strength of schedule. Number 69, again, not so nice. According to the analyst.com, projected offensive rating. Number 90, projected defensive rating. Can the Wildcats overachieve?
That's the thing. I have no idea what that defense is going to look like, man. It wasn't very good last year. Danny Gonzalez takes over. He's the new DC. They're going to play a 4-2-5 this season. He wants to be more aggressive, try to mix up the coverages a little bit more. Trey Smith is their only starter back on the defensive line. On the offensive side of the ball, they bring back Noah Fafita. He regressed last year. 2,958 yards, 18 touchdowns, but he doubled his picks with 12. They lose Tet McMillan. I do like some of their pieces, but with this schedule, I lean under. I think they're a 5-win team.